I believe we caught Young Miami in a lie. Young Miami has been lying through her teeth. Finally now, an S tape, a freak-off tape, was leaked, and it's now in the hands of the feds. And I believe the woman on that freak-off session is Young Miami, and we're gonna find out soon why. Somebody handed off a freak-off session to the feds to strengthen their case against Diddy. Let's read this article from TMZ. They say an S worker turns over alleged Diddy freak-off tape. Ooh, this is breaking news. One of Sean Diddy Combs' alleged encounters with a sex worker was taped. And that tape is now in the hands of federal prosecutors. Now, think about this. We know from Cassie's lawsuit, Little Rod's lawsuit, or Rodney Jones' lawsuit, that Diddy videotaped everything. But I never thought Diddy would allow a random S worker to videotape him and leave the premises with the video. It just doesn't add up. That was very compromising. He's a big celebrity. Why would he allow a random person to leave with such evidence, right? This is why I believe this information was leaked. Anyway, sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ the male S worker met with the feds yesterday, in New York City and signed a Proffer agreement, which allows him to speak to federal investigators without fear of prosecution. So, a Proffer is basically an agreement someone the feds are looking at, or the prosecutor, let's just say, the prosecutors are looking at, implicated in a case they're investigating. They make an agreement with that person because that person has evidence that can strengthen their case towards somebody who is more relevant or has committed bigger crimes than that individual, right? So in this case, the S worker and Diddy is obviously the bigger fish, right? The prosecutors would rather get Diddy than this little S worker. So when the S worker comes to them and says, I know you may see me in some of those freak-off sessions that you already have, and I'm afraid that I might get prosecuted, I have another tape that can strengthen your case, but please don't prosecute me. So he met with the feds, they looked at the tapes, and based on the information they have on the tape, they believed that would strengthen their case. And they said, fine, we're not going to prosecute you. They've added this freak-off session tape to their evidence. But let's read on, because you're going to see why the woman in this tape is Caresha, Young Miami. Okay? Anyway, we are told the conversation revolved around Diddy. Of course it's about Diddy. I mean, who else? With the man explaining how he got in touch with an escort to engage in a freak-off involving himself, Diddy, and a woman. And I know at this point it's easy to say the woman is Cassie, but hold on. As we reported, prosecutors said the freak-offs, instances of group sex, are the center of the criminal case against Diddy. Okay, fine. Our sources tell us that the man also dished on what type of drugs Diddy allegedly likes to use during these S sessions, as well as details about one specific encounter he claims was caught on tape. We know what Diddy's choice of drug is, right? When they arrested him, they found that pink powder or pink substance in his hotel room. Remember, Rodney Jones said in his civil lawsuit against Diddy that Young Miami would fly these drugs for Diddy from one state to another on his private plane. I'm telling you, Young Miami is not going down with Diddy. Young Miami is busy snitching on Diddy. Young Miami is busy cooperating with the federal government. And if I were in Young Miami's position, I would be doing exactly the same, working with the feds, except that I would never find myself in Young Miami's position, okay? I like money, but not like that. I like my life better than I like money, okay? Anyway, now here is the part where I think this is where it implicates Young Miami and why this specific freak-off, Cassie, is not involved. It says, our sources tell us the threesome went down in May 2023. Cassie was not with Diddy last year. Guess who was with Diddy last year? Caresha, Young Miami. Guess who was fighting with one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends, the Asian, I don't remember her name. I don't remember her name, but the Asian girl that sat down with Tasha K, the first woman to ever expose Diddy publicly, went to Tasha K about 5 years ago, before Cassie. Nobody believed her. Nobody believed her. Last year, Caresha was having Twitter wars with that woman, telling that woman, if Diddy wants you on your knees to eat me out, you would. Do you guys remember that? And we all know Cassie and Diddy were not together in 2023. Cassie was married in 2023 to her trainer, right? So our sources tell us the threesome went down in May 2023 when the S-worker claims he flew from Atlanta to Miami to meet up with Diddy and the woman. Now, it could be any other woman, but it's likely, in my opinion, and opinion only, because I don't have evidence, to be Young Miami. And he ended up having intercourse with her while Diddy filmed their encounter. How many of us believe this is Young Miami? We know it's not Cassie, right? We are told the S-worker had a copy of the video from the alleged encounter and turned it over to the agents who met with him. What's interesting about the S-worker's account is it lines up with Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnofilio. I don't know how you pronounce it. He told us about the freak-offs, right? I heard that. We spoke with him for the new TMZ documentary series, whatever, where he said freak-offs were not wild orgies, simply threesomes with consenting adults. So basically what he's saying is, there is Leonardo DiCaprio. So basically what they're saying is his attorney agrees that Diddy had orgies, or these so-called freak-offs were actually orgies, which are not illegal. It's true. Orgies are not illegal with consenting adults. Now, according to Cassie, she was forced and she was flown from one state to another. According to Rodney Jones, minors were involved, basically, right? So the question is, this tape, why do you think the feds want this tape as evidence? Because if we have 3 people in this tape that has been turned over to the government, if it's consenting adults, it wouldn't be evidence, right? So what does that mean? Was the girl high? If it's not Caresha on the tape, was the other woman high? And maybe that's why the prosecutors were also looking at the S-worker. Or is it because Diddy flew the S-worker from one state to another, from Georgia to Florida, crossing state lines, making it a federal crime? Anyway, guys, that's the latest information. I will keep you guys updated, but The next video might be tomorrow. I have several videos lined up for you guys. Thank you so much for your support. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until the next one, bye.